Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer.
Russian armed forces conducted a massive combined strike on Ukrainian military, industrial, and energy infrastructure to open the reporting period, followed by sustained offensive operations across all ground axes. The past 24 hours have been characterized by continued positional improvements, significant attrition of Ukrainian artillery and counter-battery assets, and a substantial increase in reported UAV intercepts. The highest Ukrainian casualty figures remain concentrated in the Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia sectors. Russian air defense systems intercepted 326 UAVs, 7 MRS rockets, and 5 guided bombs. The 326 UAV intercepts represent a significant increase from previous days, suggesting either increased Ukrainian drone sorties or enhanced Russian detection and engagement capabilities. This density continues to suppress Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance and strike capabilities.
Colonel, before we get to the ground sectors, the briefing opens with a significant statement. Over the past 24 hours, in response to the Kyiv regime's terrorist attacks on civilian infrastructure in Russia, the Russian armed forces launched a massive strike using long-range, land and air-based precision weapons, as well as unmanned aerial vehicles, against Ukrainian military-industrial complex and energy infrastructure facilities used by the Ukrainian armed forces. The strike's objectives were achieved. All designated targets were hit. This is framed as retaliation, but operationally, what does a massive strike of this nature accomplish?
We need to separate the rhetorical framing from the operational reality. The retaliation framing is for domestic and international consumption. Operationally, this is a planned, sequenced strike package designed to achieve specific effects against Ukraine's war-sustaining infrastructure. When we hear massive strike involving long-range precision weapons and UAVs, we should envision a coordinated multi-axis attack designed to saturate Ukrainian air defenses. Cruise missiles from Tu-95 and Tu-160 bombers, Kinzhal aeroballistic missiles from MiG-31s, Caliber missiles from ships in the Black Sea, and waves of Juran-2 drones, all arriving in a compressed timeline to overwhelm detection and engagement systems. The target set is critical: the military-industrial complex and energy infrastructure. This is an attack on Ukraine's ability to produce its own weapons and to power its economy and military.
And this sets the stage for the ground operations we're about to discuss?
Exactly. The massive strike is the opening act. It degrades Ukraine's strategic depth, its ability to produce new weapons, to power its logistics, to sustain its war effort. Then, on a battlefield already shaped by that degradation, the ground forces go to work against Ukrainian units that may already be feeling the effects of disrupted supply lines and reduced industrial output. It's a 1-2 punch, strategic and operational, deep and close. The statement that all designated targets were hit suggests this was a well-rehearsed, well-reconnoitered operation. Russian intelligence had identified specific facilities, likely over weeks or months, and the strike package was designed to ensure their destruction. This is strategic warfare, using long-range fires to degrade the enemy's capacity to continue the fight, independent of what happens on the front lines.
Let's move to the north. The North Force Group reports taking up more advantageous positions and engaging 3 mechanized brigades and 3 territorial defense brigades in Sumy, plus 3 mechanized brigades, a motorized infantry brigade, and a National Guard brigade in Kharkiv. The noteworthy losses include 2 155mm Bogdana self-propelled artillery mounts and, critically, a US-made ANTPQ-50 counter-battery radar. What is the significance of destroying that radar?
The ANTPQ-50 is one of the most important assets on the modern battlefield, and its destruction is a major tactical event. Let me explain why. The TPQ-50 is a counter-battery radar system. Its job is to detect incoming artillery shells, mortars, and rockets, track their trajectory back to the point of origin, and calculate the firing position of the enemy weapon with remarkable accuracy. This information is then transmitted to Ukrainian artillery units, who can return fire within minutes, often before the Russian gun crew can displace. When Russian forces destroy a TPQ-50, they achieve 2 things. First, they blind Ukrainian artillery in that sector. Without that radar, Ukrainian gunners must rely on sound, ranging, visual observation, or less accurate methods to locate Russian guns. This slows their response time and reduces their effectiveness.
And 8 supply depots destroyed here as well. That seems to be a theme across sectors.
The supply depots are the connective tissue between the strategic deep strikes and the tactical front. Without ammunition from those depots, the Bogdanas are just expensive paperweights. Without fuel, the mechanized brigades cannot maneuver. By destroying depots in the same sector where they're blinding Ukrainian artillery, Russian forces are creating a compounded crisis. The Ukrainians have fewer guns, less ammunition for the guns they have, and a degraded ability to locate Russian targets. That's the kind of synergy that wins battles. Second, they protect their own artillery. Every Russian howitzer and multiple rocket launcher in that sector can now fire with a lower probability of immediate counter-battery fire. This allows them to sustain higher rates of fire, to engage more targets, and to survive longer. The destruction of a TPQ-50 in the north, combined with the 2 Bogdana self-propelled guns, represents a significant degradation of Ukrainian artillery capability.
In the West Group reports improved tactical positions and a notable list of destroyed Ukrainian equipment. A US-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 4 Western-made armored fighting vehicles, 2 Bogdana 155mm self-propelled mounts, and another AN-TPQ-50 counter-battery radar. That's a second TPQ-50 in a single day. What does this tell us about Russian targeting priorities?
It tells us that Russian reconnaissance strike complexes are prioritizing 2 types of targets above all others: artillery systems and the sensors that enable them. The TPQ-50 is the sensor, the Bogdana is the shooter. Taking out both in the same sector creates a cascading effect on Ukrainian combat effectiveness. The 4 Western-made armored fighting vehicles are also significant. These could be German Martyrs, Swedish CV-90s, American Strykers, or other NATO-supplied infantry carriers. Each one represents a significant investment by donor nations and a significant capability for Ukrainian mechanized infantry. Destroying them removes that capability from the battlefield and sends a message to the nations that supplied them. The M113 is an older system, but it is ubiquitous. It carries troops, supplies, and casualties. Losing one degrades Ukrainian mobility and logistics. The cumulative effect of these losses is a gradual erosion of Ukraine's ability to project combat power.
The Southern Group reports improved positions and another impressive list: 2 US-made M113 APCs, 2 Kazakh armored vehicles, and another AN-TPQ-50 counter-battery radar. That's the 3rd TPQ-50 today, 3 in 24 hours. Is that sustainable for Ukraine?
No, it is not. The United States and its allies have supplied Ukraine with a finite number of these radar systems. They are complex, expensive, and not easily replaced. Losing 3 in a single day represents a significant percentage of the total inventory. Think about what this means for Ukrainian artillery crews. They have been trained to rely on these radars for survivability. The doctrine is, fire a few rounds, displace before the enemy can locate you, and use the radar to detect incoming counter-battery fire. Without the radar, they are fighting blind. They don't know if Russian shells are on the way until they start landing. The Southern Group also destroyed an electronic warfare station and an ammunition depot. The EW station is another critical sensor. It jams Russian communications and drone feeds. Destroying it creates another window of vulnerability for Ukrainian forces. The ammunition depot means that even if Ukrainian guns survive, they may soon lack shells to fire.
The Center Group reports the highest Ukrainian personnel losses of the day, up to 355. They engaged an extraordinarily diverse array of units: 5 mechanized brigades, a Jaeger brigade, an airmobile brigade, an assault brigade, an assault regiment, a territorial defense brigade, the Azov Special Forces Brigade, and 4 National Guard brigades. They also destroyed an AN-TPQ-36 counter-battery radar, a different model from the TPQ-50. What does this diversity tell us?
The Center Group is the main effort in Donetsk, and the diversity of Ukrainian units they are engaging tells us that Ukraine is throwing everything it has into this sector. 5 mechanized brigades, that's heavy conventional combat power. Jaegers are light infantry specialists. Airmobile and assault brigades are elite light infantry. Azov is a politically significant special forces unit. National Guard brigades are typically rear area security forces being fed into the line as reserves. This is a defensive patchwork, and patchworks have seams. Each of these unit types has different training, different equipment, different radios, and different tactical doctrines. Coordinating their actions is a nightmare for Ukrainian commanders. Russian reconnaissance is almost certainly identifying the seams between these units and feeding that information to the Center Group strike complexes.
And 10 armored combat vehicles lost here as well.
Yes, 10 armored vehicles in a single sector in a single day is a heavy loss. These are the platforms that allow Ukrainian infantry to maneuver under protection. Without them, infantry are more vulnerable to Russian artillery and small arms. The cumulative effect is a Ukrainian force that is increasingly fixed in place, unable to move, unable to counterattack, and slowly being attrited by Russian fires. The destruction of an AN TPQ-36 radar is significant because it's a different system from the TPQ-50. The TPQ-36 is designed for longer-range counter-battery work. Destroying it further degrades Ukraine's ability to detect and engage Russian artillery across the sector. With 4 artillery pieces also destroyed, the center group is systematically dismantling Ukrainian fire support.
In the east, the East Group reports continuing to advance deep into the enemy's defenses and inflicting up to 350 Ukrainian casualties. They also report destroying a Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery unit. Why is the Krab significant?
The Krab is a Polish-designed and produced 155mm self-propelled howitzer. It is a modern, NATO standard system with excellent range and accuracy. Poland has been one of Ukraine's most steadfast supporters, and the Krab is a symbol of that support. Destroying a Krab serves multiple purposes. Operationally, it removes a capable artillery system from the battlefield. Symbolically, it sends a message to Warsaw and to other NATO capitals that their equipment is not invulnerable. Strategically, it contributes to the narrative that Western aid is being consumed by the war at an unsustainable rate. The Krab is also a complex system with a significant logistics tail. Its ammunition, spare parts, and maintenance requirements are different from Soviet-era systems. Losing one puts additional strain on Ukraine's already overstretched logistics network.
The Dnipro Group reports improved tactical position and the destruction of 3 electronic warfare stations, an ammunition depot, and 4 supply depots. That's a significant logistics and EW toll. What's the purpose of this sector?
The Dnipro Group is the southern anchor of the Russian offensive. Its role is to fix Ukrainian forces along the river and prevent them from being redeployed to the east. By destroying 3 EW stations, they are creating windows of electromagnetic superiority in this sector. By destroying an ammunition depot and 4 supply depots, they are degrading the ability of Ukrainian units here to sustain prolonged operations. The personnel losses are lower, up to 60, which suggests that ground combat may be less intense here than in the center or east. But the logistics and EW attrition is significant. Over time, this will render Ukrainian forces in this sector less capable and less mobile, achieving the Dnipro Group's operational objective without the need for costly assaults.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that the deep battle shapes the conditions for the ground battle. By destroying UAV logistics, Russia reduces the number of Ukrainian reconnaissance drones overhead, making it harder for Ukraine to target Russian forces. By striking deployment points, Russia disrupts Ukraine's ability to rotate fresh troops to the front. By intercepting HIMARS rockets, Russia protects its own logistics and command nodes. And on the ground, Russian forces exploit these advantages to advance, to destroy Ukrainian equipment, and to attrit Ukrainian personnel. It's a fully integrated operational design.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.